Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ultimate. This is the final interview of the Travel Mole series here at WTM 21. And as I said to before, I often save the best till last. And needless to say, here is my old pal Phil Dickinson, who is the man for Qatar Tourism here at World Travel Market. Good afternoon, Phil.
Good afternoon, Graham.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
Well, actually, a little bit jaded after 3 solid days of meetings, but yeah, all very positive.
It's good to be home, though, isn't it?
It is. It's nice to be back in the UK.
Yeah,
enjoying the sunshine actually in London.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's a bit cold, but lovely. Probably a complete contrast to Doha. Now, you've taken on a big job. You know, Qatar are coming into the world of travel and tourism in a big way. This entire world travel market is sponsored by Qatar. Indeed, if I had one on, it would have Qatar on it on my thing, but I lost it this morning. Never mind about that. Tell me more about, you know, what are the goals for you, Phil?
Yeah, our goals are clear. Listen, our Vision 2030 is to basically achieve 3 times our numbers that we did in 2019. So we did 2 million visitors globally, tourists coming in 2019. So our 2030 vision is to 3 times that. So we want to basically get between 6 and 7 million visitors. Obviously, we want that'll give us the incremental spend, and we want to move our contribution to GDP from 6% to 12%, and that obviously means we're more of an economic generator and job creator in Qatar. So obviously there's a clear mandate, a clear vision, and in order for us to achieve that, we need to be very active in what we regard as our key source markets. We've identified about 20 of those global source markets, and of course UK being a key one for us. So you'll see, obviously we've got a large presence here, a very large stand here, and a lot of stand sharers, our product owners, our hoteliers and DMCs, 24 sharers on our stand. We had a large event at the Savoy, which we obviously had key media and trade partners there. And we're engaging with all the key tour operators to ensure that they've got the product on the shelf they're selling Qatar, and we're doing co-op agreements with them to support them on performance-based agreements. So yeah, very active. Good, and you've got 1 or 2 events going on in Qatar next year that might draw attention to the country. Yes, we have, Graham. Yeah, well, a few even before that. So you've probably seen that we signed the deal for the Formula One. So we have our first Formula One on the 21st of November. So we're having to really rally to get that, pardon the pun, but to get that one organised. But it's a 10-year deal, so we're very excited to be hosting the Formula One. But of course, yeah, I mean, all roads lead to the World Cup next year. So gearing up, the next big event will be the 1-year countdown, which is coming very soon. And then obviously moving into 2022 once we'll know all the finalised teams and then the draws for the teams, and then of course the general tickets will go on sale. So yeah, it's a really massive, exciting time for Qatar, and as Qatar Tourism, we're more about pre and post, I suppose. We're more about building on the momentum and the legacy of the World Cup. But we're super as excited as everybody, which obviously the World Cup is very much a coordination activity between FIFA and our Supreme Committee, which is the huge organisation that's been set up to deliver the World Cup in collaboration with FIFA for next year. In your plans for the World Cup, have you looked at how other countries have handled major global events? Because often, I don't know about often, but I've read somewhere that often there's a sort of like here in London, it goes up to a big height and then there's a big drop off. Maybe because we as a country, UK, didn't invest enough in post-Olympics marketing and thinking everybody was going to pile in here just because we'd had the Olympics. Have you looked at some of those things, and how are you going to handle that? Yeah, it's a great question, Graham. I think we looked closely since Qatar won the World Cup. Obviously, we had a huge delegation over in Russia, and we've taken a lot of that knowledge and experience, and you've probably seen them. I mean, Russia's benefited hugely from the World Cup. They delivered it exceptionally well, and they've seen tourism numbers grow on the back of that, and we're expecting the same. But I think the learnings are more about making the experience and making the journey for the spectator as smooth and as comfortable as possible. So things like the fan IDs, which obviously effectively act as the passport for easy access through immigration and support with getting around through the transportation. We built a metro system. We've got electric buses to get move people smoothly and seamlessly around Qatar for the World Cup. But I think as part of our strategy and our marketing campaigns and our PR activity and our trade activity is all geared on exactly that. Graham, is building on the fact that so many eyes and so there'll be so much focus on the World Cup, but it's it's only going on for a 6-week period. Then we need to ensure that we make the most of that sort of all those eyeballs, and making sure that we're going to capitalise and make sure that we're selling those stopover packages, or we're selling those point to point, because people all of a sudden have been aware of Qatar. And you'll see our campaign. I mean, we're spending fairly considerably even on the build-up. I mean, we've launched our global campaign with significant advertising activity in the UK, and we're launching that in the other 12 markets that I talked about as well. And that's in-home with TV adverts. There's billboards. There's on the escalators, metros, print, digital, social media. So it's a large commitment on our side to even start that ball rolling with the lead up to the World Cup, and obviously, but then we have the World Cup and then the momentum post.
And how have you found World Travel Market? I mean, everybody said it's quiet, but the quality of meetings have been better. Speaking personally, people have turned up. I haven't had any meetings cancelled, which is most unusual. A World Travel Market based on the last 20 years. It's obviously a trade event. How have you found it in dealing with the UK trade about Qatar?
Yeah, listen, I would 100% agree with that. I mean, we made sure we filled our diaries prior to coming, so we pre-scheduled our appointments with exactly who we wanted to see, our trade partners. But I wouldn't disagree with those comments at all. So definitely quality over quantity. I mean, I think it's clear for everybody to see there's less footfall here, so less people around. But I think the serious people and the people you're wanting to see and do business with, we've been busy. I mean, we've had pretty much back-to-back meetings with our key travel trade partners and travel trade media, like yourself, Graham. So I think, it's definitely been worthwhile. I mean, we wanted to come here and make a statement and reinforce our advertising campaign that's going out to the consumer. We wanted to obviously start to weave that in into the trade, and obviously we'll be doing that through our trade partners and our tour operators moving forward. So definitely been worthwhile, and we've had, and good, not just from myself as Qatar Tourism, but also from our our stakeholders, which is our hotels and DMCs. The airline obviously is sharing with us as well, Qatar Airways. So I think we've all been very pleased with how it's gone. Been very productive for us.
Good. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm glad I know you, because I don't have to sully myself with the ticket draw. You will sort that out for me, I'm sure. No problem. And best of luck, mate.
Thanks, Graham. Appreciate it. Good to see you as always.